Was the moon landing a hoax? Okay, this is a fascinating story. Get in here. This is Cosmic Road, where I discuss UFOs and the paranormal. Today we're going to be talking about the first moon landing and whether or not it was a hoax. Oh, by the way, please hit like. Please subscribe if you haven't already, and if you do subscribe, hit the bell next to it to be notified of future videos. And as I'm going through the story, please comment below and let me know what you think. Okay, now this is a really interesting story. It's kind of unique as far as I know. It just dropped just a few days ago, September 13th or something. But yeah, it's unique in that it is a double deathbed confession. This is a gentleman relaying this story that his father told him. His father told him on, his deathbed, and he is relaying this on his own deathbed. He was dying of cancer when he made this video, and he has since passed on. And very shortly after he passed on, this video was released to this channel, Bart Seibel. And so I encourage you to check out the full video. I'm going to play a little bit of it. But yeah, so in this video, he is telling the story that his father passed on to him, that he saw the hoax. He saw them making the moon landing, I think it was in a hangar. And President Johnson was there, and some other noteworthy people, Werner von Braun, and we'll get into that a little later. But yeah, he saw the U.S. government manufacture this fake moon landing. Now, this is something that's been in the ether for a long time. I have never taken such stories seriously. I have always thought it was kind of silly to dispute the moon landing. However, I have seen some good evidence over the years that maybe something was going on. Maybe at least they filmed some stuff to splice in if they didn't have enough footage or they didn't want to show something in particular. So, I've always entertained the possibility that there was some shooting going on, and maybe that's what this is. Although, according to what he says, what they saw on TV was exactly what they filmed in that hangar. So maybe it was all a hoax. I don't know. I'll let you be the judge, but this is a fascinating story, so I will let the gentleman relay his father's story in his own words. Here goes.
My father, in 1968, was stationed at Cannon Air Force Base in New Mexico. I made notes on my computer so that I wouldn't forget anything, because there's a lot of little things and stuff that I'd forget. So these notes were made a long time ago. The original recording that my father made on his deathbed was destroyed in a fire. Project Slam Dunk was the name of this. President Johnson in 1968, okay? In Cannon Air Force Base in 1968, he said by the time he got there, that there was already 2 large hangars that were connected. There was hundreds of dump trucks that came in and dumped sand and stone, and cement powder was powdered over the top of all that to make it look like a lunar landscape. They had men that fashioned it into a lunar landscape, he said. Okay, I've never known my dad to lie, so this all took me by surprise. What's that all about? So anyway, he said that in front of the airplane hangars was pole framing with large canvas tents that was concealing the inside of the staging area. inside the staging area on flatbed trucks was uncrated the lunar lander that was reassembled back inside the hangars. All of the walls were painted flat black, and the ceilings as well. He was sworn to secrecy by the NSA, and they would put him in prison for breaking that oath. When Dad saw the moon landing on TV, he cried. He said he knew that what he had witnessed on TV was exactly what they recorded in that hangar. Filming lasted for 3 days, and the entire project was restored to original. In other words, the hangars were all taken apart, the sand was all removed, and so on and so forth.
So that's what he has to say about how they created the video, the fake moon landing. There's more to it, and I'll let you watch the full video to get the whole of it. But that's the essence of what he says about how they created the moon landing. They had this hangar, and they painted it black, and they got some cement dust and some special effects guys, some camera guys. So is that real? Is that what happened? I don't know. Let me know in the comments below what you think. I have, never really been, pro fake moon landing. I've always thought the moon landing at least was legit. The people who argue against the moon landing and in favor of the hoax say, well, one of the reasons they give is that we don't want to go to the moon because there's aliens on the moon and there's alien structures on the moon. And I have researched that, and there's something going on with the moon. There is definitely something going on with the moon. That's a subject for another video. But yes, I do believe there is definitely something up with the moon. Maybe something major. But I've always thought that even that being the case, you could still land a craft there in an unoccupied part of the moon and still have a moon landing. So I always thought it was real. And I still, I'm not persuaded one way or the other, really. But I don't know. It's pretty compelling. The guy seems to be who he says he was, and his dad seems to be who he says he was. And where he says he was, and some of these details have been confirmed. It's a compelling case. So let's get into the people that were there. Okay, here is what he said about the people who were present during the filming.
Dad was one of 3 guards that guarded the inside of the front entrance. There was a list of 15 people who could enter. No one else was allowed by order of President Johnson. And here is that list. And I gave it to Bart Seibel as well. And he checked out a lot of these names, and he says he can verify a lot of these people and what they do. And I come across a couple myself. Anyway, President Johnson, Neil Armstrong, Edwin Aldrin, Werner von Braun, Robert Emenegger, Gene Kranz, James Webb, Joe Kerwin, Dr. Thomas Paine, Glenn Looney, Dr. Christopher Kraft, Dr. James Van Allen, General Trudeau, Lieutenant Colonel Donald Simon, and Grant Norrie. Now, the only 2 that I really have information on is Robert Emenegger. Apparently, he did a lot of video work and stuff for the Department of Defense. So the DoD did know him. Okay, and the other one was Grant Norrie, Norray, I believe. Was to the best of my dad's knowledge, was like some FBI, CIA, NSA, who knows, something like that. Okay. Okay, President Johnson only showed up for the first day of filming.
The name that stuck out to me, well, in addition to the president, Johnson, and Werner Braun, I can't say his name, von Braun, was General Trudeau. Now, if you've read The Day After Roswell, you'll know that General Trudeau was tasked with the Roswell desk, the Roswell file, and he assigned Colonel Corso to that, I believe, in the 60s. So, but before Colonel Corso, who wrote the book, before he was assigned that file by General Trudeau, General Trudeau had assigned it to other people. And they were farming this technology out to the private sector and having people reverse engineer this alien technology. And that is what led to the computer revolution and various other technologies, in essence, transforming the world. So it is very interesting that General Trudeau, who was in charge of the Roswell file, would have been there if this supposed fake moon landing. Also, Werner von Braun is from time to time put into the whole secret space fleet story. I have still not really, decided where I stand on the secret space fleet. It seems really crazy, and yet there's actually some fairly compelling evidence for it. So, I think the jury's still out, to me, on the secret space fleet. But there is a version of events where a timeline where that kind of makes sense. And in that timeline, Werner von Braun, oh my God, I can't say his name, von Braun does play a role. And, the whole Operation Paperclip thing, it plays a significant role in this whole secret space fleet thing. And so it would make sense, according to that version of events, that they would want to stage a fake moon landing, because they do have some stuff to cover up. They've got a whole big thing going on, dealing with aliens, got, ships out there, people on other planets. The world that we live is an illusion, and, there's a whole big Star Warsy universe out there that those guys are taking part in, and that's the whole breakaway civilization kind of thing. So, there is a timeline where that makes sense, and you can make that work. You can make that work from a narrative point of view. So, is that what's really going on? I don't know, but it's fascinating to consider. Anyway, what do you think about all of this? I think this is pretty crazy, but, it's hard to, completely turn your nose at as well. So let me know what you think. Please give this video a big thumbs up. I would really appreciate it. Please hit the subscribe button if you haven't already. And if you do, please hit the bell next to it to be notified of future videos. There are social media links below. Please follow me on Facebook and Twitter. Trying to grow this channel, that'd be great. And of course, there's a PayPal button below if you wanted to support the channel. Until next time, this is Cosmic Road, out.